Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for, this is your February bonus reading. We're going to jump right in here. You have the fish and the ring. So these two cards are actually very good together. This is the Gilded Lenormand that I'm using for the first set of Oracle cards, even though they're not really Oracle cards, but whatever. And these two together can represent like a business contract or some sort of agreement in work or business. So if you're waiting for, approval on something in business, or like I said, a business contract, or it can even represent a business commitment. So that could be like getting a job, getting approval for a job, something like that. So it definitely looks very good for money. This combination can also represent marriage. So again, if you're looking for love, there could be, or if you're already in love, then there could be marriage potential with those cards. But let's see what comes up for you here, Libra. You start with the Five of Cups, and so the Five of Cups is like some sort of disappointment, or some sort of regret. Most people read this card as a card of regrets, but I don't, that's not really the energy I'm feeling off of the Five of Cups. I feel like there's some sort of disappointment, or like I feel like you started the year with a disappointment. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And so are you still dealing with this now? Is kind of like my question, just looking at all these cards. I kind of feel like you aren't, or if you are still disappointed about something from like the beginning of the year, the solution to the Five of Cups is to be grateful for what you have. He has to be grateful for these two cups, and then he gets this bridge in the castle. I think that it's pretty interesting that your crossing energy for the Five of Cups, which the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross, and like literally the Nine of Pentacles is the card of gratitude. It's a card of gratitude and luxury. She is very grateful for the position that she has, for the position that she's been able to create for herself on the card. So that could be, something that solves a problem if you are dealing with a problem with that Five of Cups. Again, I keep getting the message that you started the year with a disappointment, or there was some sort of disappointment. It could have been in a person, not even love. It doesn't have to be love is what I'm trying to say. But you have the King of Cups in the past, and then you have the Queen of Cups in the area of your thoughts here. But we'll just talk about it. You have the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Cups in the area of your thoughts. And so the Eight of Wands with the Queen of Cups, this could be like communication, or communication from the heart. The Queen of Cups is very heart-based. And so this is like thinking about delivering a message, or, something along those lines. It's kind of giving me the vibes of, if you're fresh off a breakup, right? It's like, I know sometimes we go through a breakup and we're like, I'm going to, when this person messages me, because I know they are, I'm going to give it to them, And it's kind of giving me those vibes where it's like, yeah, you do want to tell them something from the heart. Might not necessarily be nice, but, I feel that energy for some of you. For the most part, because this isn't really a love reading, it seems to me like it's about some other things that are going on. This would be about communicate, like kind of like working with the energy of your heart. The Queen of Cups, again, really values her heart, and she values what her heart is telling her to do. And then you have the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is about choosing a direction sometimes. It's, all those wands are pointing in one direction. The Eight of Wands says that we can't be pulling in two different directions. So your head and your heart have to be in alignment to get what you want. And I feel that with the Eight of Wands. And again, maybe there was some sort of disappointment for some of you at the beginning of the year that kind of pulled you in two directions, or made you feel like it's like maybe part of you feels like things are going well, the other part of you feels like things are not. And I would go this direction, towards success with the Eight of Wands. Next, in your foundation, you have the Four of Pentacles. I don't like the Four of Pentacles, but I love the Four of Pentacles in the area of your foundation. It is a very good card to get in a foundational position, because it is a card of having a solid foundation. So this is pretty good. It kind of says that things are that you have a solid foundation. You definitely a financial reading, even though we only really have those 2 Lenormand cards and the 9 of Pentacles so far. We're going to clarify in a minute, although you do have the 3 of Pentacles as well. So we'll see what comes up. But I do feel that you are kind of coming from a good financial foundation, or you are currently working to improve your financial foundation, which will probably improve the rest of your life as well at this time. Next, in your past position, you have this Hand of Fate card. It says, everything is happening for a reason, except the things to which fate binds you. And so again, if there was some sort of disappointment with the 5 of Cups, then, this to me says that things are happening exactly as they should. You have this Toxic Triggers. It says, find the strength to remove yourself from toxic influences in your life. Yeah, this could be a toxic person, a toxic situation, a toxic environment, whatever it is. I feel that you could be making some changes here. You have the King of Cups in the area of your past, so this could be you removing yourself from a person. Usually, if the King of Cups on the negative side of things is overly emotional and actually has no control over his emotions, so you could have been dealing with a person. Doesn't have to be a man. Doesn't have to be love either. You could have just been dealing with a person at work or in business that was out of control emotionally, and it seems to me like that's what you could be removing yourself from. Sometimes I feel. I have a couple of cards in the tarot that I call clue cards, and they just, basically give me a clue as a reader as to like the direction of the reading or something else. The King of Cups I consider to be the card of the home, and it's also interesting that you always get the 9 of Pentacles with me. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of your environment, and then you have that Toxic Triggers card. It's like putting this all together. I've been saying to you for years now, Libra, that I feel that there is like some sort of environmental change that you need. And so that could be where you live. That could be, your business or your job. It's like maybe you work in a toxic environment, but maybe it's your only choice right now. And, so I kind of feel like there is a change that you're wanting to make, because the thing about the 5 of Cups is that he doesn't enjoy, like, he has lost his taste for wine, but he's grieving the loss of something that he no longer enjoys. So it's like, even if he were to be offered wine, he wouldn't accept it because he doesn't even enjoy it any longer, but it once brought him a lot of joy. So it can be very hard to like walk away from like a job that maybe you were very happy to get years ago, but maybe you're not anymore. And so I kind of feel it's almost like this reading is a little bit of a tough decision, right? Or maybe it's tough for you to see a future where you are going to enjoy something, because, if you have a job, like let's say you got your dream job years ago, but now you hate it because it's toxic or whatever, right? I think when we get into those situations, it can be very hard. It's kind of like you get a little bit, I don't want to say depressed, but you just get to that point where you're like, am I ever going to get something that I actually want? And I kind of feel that's where you're at. You have next in the area of your very near future, you have this Clean It Up card and this Observer card. Yeah, I feel this is about like cleaning up your vibration with the 8 of Wands, kind of like making the best of any situations that you're involved in. The Observer card I feel is like encouraging you to observe like possibilities, because I feel there are a lot of possibilities coming in for you. I know that this reading sounds challenging, but I don't actually think that it is, and we're going to talk about that. So you have the 2 of Swords. I think it's pretty cool that, on this Observer card, he's looking at that crescent moon that's above his head. And then on the 2 of Swords, we have the crescent moon right here. And I always say with the 2 of Swords that we have to turn around and get to this island. This island kind of represents a third place solution. So again, she is stuck in a position where she thinks her options are this or that, but she has another option, this third place over here. And so, really I would say this whole first part of the reading, all of this here is encouraging you to look for other ways. This could, if you're miserable at your job, this could say that you think that there are no other jobs that you could get. And that might be true. Maybe there isn't a job that you could get that's exactly the same as what you have right now. But the 2 of Swords kind of says you have to look at your skills and say my skills could be used for something else. It's like I think if I was talking to a nurse like years ago and she was miserable at her job and then she ended up getting a job like in some like biotech thing or something like that. I don't remember, whatever it was. It was completely different. She didn't have to like be a nurse anymore, right? But she was still being a nurse, but just something different. And that's what I always think of with the Two of Swords, is that we need to like expand our horizons and realize that we can kind of do the same thing. If we're willing to be flexible, there might be other opportunities that can use our skills that are kind of like different but better. So I feel like that's what you need to look for with that card. Next, you have the fish. So you have two fish cards here. This says abundance and luck on it, and you have this moon. It says cycles and changes. I said that there would be some sort of change on that Five of Cups. The Five of Cups was really saying change to me. I don't necessarily consider the Five of Cups to be a change card. He needs to make a change. He needs to be grateful for those two cups behind him. Then he'll get the bridge and the castle. But we don't necessarily consider it to be a change card. But another great card for money as well there. In the area of your next few months, you have the Nine of Swords. I always tell people that tarot isn't a prison sentence. This is energy you have to work with. I'm pretty sure you had the Nine of Swords with me recently, maybe even in just the regular February reading. I think you had the Nine of Swords. So there's definitely something that is repeating. And the Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. So it basically says things are not necessarily going to get better. And you know that might sound negative, but really it should empower you to make a change with the Nine of Swords. It should tell you that it doesn't matter really how long you stick something out. It's not necessarily going to improve. So I do feel this is encouraging you to like find something new, whether it's in work or relationships or where you live or whatever the case may be. But I think looking and getting that forward movement is going to be very helpful. The Eight of Wands, here is connected. And the Eight of Wands, it doesn't really matter like what we do as long as we take a tiny step towards an improvement. And that's what I would encourage you to do here. You have the Three of Pentacles in the area of your closest relationships. Pretty good card for your closest relationships. Three of Pentacles is a teamwork card and working together with people. This area of the reading represents all relationships that you belong to. And so there are people who clearly want to support you and lift you up. The Three of Pentacles is also a card of recognition. And so there's like an opportunity for you to be recognized in work or business or whatever it is you do. And I feel like that's what you're kind of going for here with that card. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the High Priestess. Again, I really like this because just based off of everything else that's here, the High Priestess is really a card of unlimited potential. She has no roof over her head, and so most people read her as a card of like secrets, mysteries, intuition, needing to trust your intuition. There's a crescent moon right here. So I don't know, the crescent moon is really standing out to me in your reading for whatever reason. And what I would say is that this kind of represents potential. Now, potential means nothing. Like, she has to actually put the work into something that has potential. But I do feel that the High Priestess is saying that you are becoming more aware of potential. And again, like I was talking about earlier, maybe you're becoming aware of different opportunities in work or business or career. And this could represent needing to explore those opportunities. You end with the Judgment card, which again is very good. Definitely a change coming in for you. These people are rising up out of these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life. And so they are like stepping into a new life here. And they are answering the call to their purpose. And, on a very deep level, some of you might be discovering your purpose with the Judgment card because, it is a card of answering the call to your purpose. For others, I feel you could just be seeing or answering the call to a new opportunity, and they're leaving something behind. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin here represents their new life. And so they are kind of like stepping in to their new life. And, that's what I think the whole entire reading is really kind of like encouraging here. So let's see. With the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, you have the Temperance card. Again, Temperance is not a bad card, but he's trying to turn water into wine with these two cups. He has this path behind him here, and this is called the path to glory, and there's this glowing crown here. Sometimes I feel with Temperance that we are kind of like, it's kind of like we're trying to perfect something when we could just start. He might be trying to perfect his situation before he makes a change. And again, the Nine of Swords to me in your reading was really saying, it's like, how many times do you have to go round and round with something? Or can you just make the decision to make a change right now? And again, this doesn't even have to be a bad thing. It's like, maybe you just don't enjoy your job, and, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But it's kind of like saying things aren't necessarily going to get better. It'll just stay the same, which again, it's like sometimes we just don't like our job. It's just that simple. But again, I think this could say that, you really could start a journey to get something much, like to find an improvement, right? With whatever these cards were, Queen of Cups and the Eight of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. Like I said, with the Eight of Wands, we have to establish belief with the Eight of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. You are basically, it says you have to believe something so deeply, and like deep down in your DNA, that you make it happen. It's that type of belief. So with the Eight of Wands, getting your thoughts moving in the right direction is going to be important. And then, being convicted in your choices is going to be important as well. We don't really see any back and forth energy here in the reading, except for the Temperance card. But, I kind of am wondering that for you based off this reading, Libra. Like, would it be better for you to really be convicted in your choices and to make a choice and make it happen? With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Four of Pentacles. Basically the universe saying I meant what I said. With the King of Cups, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, someone could have left you out in the cold here. Like I said, I get this feeling of like an overly emotional person. I also feel like saying if you have dealt with like a person who had no control over their emotions, like even if it was years ago, I would be careful, of this person returning or messaging you and messing up your day or something like that. With the Two of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is something that saves the day, which is good. This could be a knight in shining armor, although I don't really feel this is a love reading. And so the Knight of Cups here could say that you're being offered an opportunity, or you're kind of getting a better opportunity that removes you from a situation of lack. When you think about it, the Knight of Cups is in lack in a certain way. He is standing in the desert, and nothing grows in the desert, but he has this water in front of him. So if he were to plant seeds in that water, they would grow, or by the water, right? And so the Knight of Cups can represent needing to get started when it looks like there is no opportunity, but really there is, because there's water flowing in front of you. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Hierophant. This is like belief systems. A lot of people are dealing with this problem right now. We still have Neptune and Pisces. Neptune will go into Aries, but it's going to retrograde back into Pisces this year. So it starts its retrograde, I can't remember, like in June, and then it starts moving forward like in the beginning of December 6th or something like that. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. But the whole point of me saying that is that, Neptune and Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. So during Neptune and Pisces, which we've had for years now, our traditional beliefs are being challenged. So a traditional belief is like, I have to go to school, I have to get a career, and then I have to work in this career until I'm 65, and then when I retire, I'm going to enjoy my life, even though most people retire and then they die of a heart attack and they never enjoyed life, right? And so the challenge with Neptune and Pisces, when you think about it, people consider Neptune to have like the closest connection to God, right? Heaven on earth. So I think of Neptune and Pisces as needing to look at those beliefs that we believe that prevent us from having heaven on earth, right? And so that's why I think, people shouldn't wait for things. Like, if there are things you want to do, it's like, do you really have to wait till you retire? Or, do you have to wait till your kids go to college or whatever? Or can you do those things now? And so we kind of have this battle, inside of us where it's like we were raised a certain way, or we think society has these rules. The solution to the Hierophant with the Nine of Swords is just outside the box thinking. And so I would definitely encourage that. And, I would encourage potential as well with the High Priestess. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Magician. Again, this is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. Basically says you can have whatever you want. If you are trying to attract love here, then there definitely could be love. And we have the Hierophant and the High Priestess, which are better. I consider them to be better divine counterparts than the Emperor and the Empress. So you definitely could be attracting something. I always pull the card the Magician is pointing towards, which is this regeneration card. Yeah, maybe, you have you have the hiccups now. You have the clean it up card. You have the regeneration card. I definitely feel that it could be a good time for you to work on, resting, relaxing, recovering, cleaning up your vibration, all that other good stuff with these cards. Here you go. With the High Priestess, everything we've been talking about, you have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands, he is looking at things from a limited perspective. We see that with the Two of Swords, the Five of Cups even the Temperance card as well. And we could even say the Hierophant because he's inside the box thinking. The story of the Two of Wands, it's not a bad card. It's a card of progress and foresight. But he's standing at the top of his castle, and he has the whole world in his hands, but he's looking here. He's not looking here at the world that is in his hands. So he needs to realize there are many, many more opportunities for him in the world. I think the trick with the Two of Wands is to explore. Because if you don't know something is possible, then it's impossible, right? And so I always encourage people to, go on the adventure of possibility with the Two of Wands. Go find out what things are possible in life, and if someone has done something, then you can do it, and that's what the Two of Wands says. With the Judgment card, you have the Ten of Swords. Something is definitely leaving your life. I don't even think this is a bad thing. Ten of Swords can represent a blessing in disguise. He's making the same symbol right here that the Hierophant is making with his hand on his card represents a blessing. And with the Judgment card, we know that something is dead. The Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with in your life. So, I would call this like a major change reading or, a big, there's like some sort of big transition that's happening here. And, I think it's going to be a positive change ultimately for you here, Libra. You have the Seahorse cards as family matters. A lot of people have been getting these family cards recently, and I just think it's a good time to spend time with family. You have the Three of Pentacles in the area of your closest relationships. So spending time with family, the Three of Pentacles would really be about spending time with people who lift you up and making that a point, right? Making sure that you are avoiding people who bring you down. And so I would make sure of that as well. You have this flag, it says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yes, I believe we are meant to grow as much as possible. That's why I think, really, I said this in starting in 2016. With Neptune and Pisces, I think careers are going away because when you think about it, it doesn't make much sense. Like most people get into a career, it's like, sure, that, if you're in a career where there's a lot of growth, I don't think careers are going to disappear, but I just think people are going to choose to do things that are more important, or people are going to focus more on growth, right? Because, if you're in a career and you only get a raise or a promotion every 10 years, there isn't that much growth going on there. And so I think people are going to be raising their own standards and looking for growth. You have this bag, it says something important such as a new job or raise. Can't make this up. Literally your first two cards, the ring and the fish, represent like a new job, a new opportunity, a contract, something like that. So there you go. You have this wishbone card, it says a wish granted. There you go. So definitely could be some sort of wish. You probably have been wishing for something new based off this reading. You have this dolphin card, it says financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So yeah, very interesting reading. It's like there's a challenge here, but at the same time, it's like a good reading, right? So there you go, Libra. I have nothing else to say. I'm done. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Definitely enjoy your month.